Hey, Dave Sheehan here, founder of Go Vegan Grow, and this is a question from one of our subscribers: how to eat vegan on a budget. So I'm going to address that in today's video training. So in terms of eating vegan on a budget, it isn't actually that hard. You know, being vegan, being plant-based, people always think, oh, you know, it's so expensive. Like, there's, you know, everything you have to buy is so expensive. It doesn't have to be. It depends what you buy. Again, this is where, like I've addressed in previous videos about processed vegan foods. If you're eating many processed foods, they are expensive. You know, if it's in pounds, you could spend £3 to £5, £6 for where we processed meats, processed chicken strips, you know, sausages, whatever it might be. While there's a place for them, you know, if you're on a budget, don't buy them. It's much better for you to focus on whole food. Again, I personally focus on whole food, plant-based. Okay, and that's what I recommend to my clients as well. So what's cheap? You know, how can you eat vegan on a budget? Well, oatmeal is very, very cheap. Again, you don't have to go for the top of the range one. You know, you can go for one that might be in, say, Little Aldi or similar shops, depending on what country that you're in. The thing about it is the food industry is clever. The food industry has different scales of pricing for, say, oatmeal or bread or anything. The reality is that most of it comes from the same place. It's the same food. I'll give you an example. There's one porridge or oatmeal I know of. It's about £2.25. You can get practically the same porridge for 75p in another shop. Same thing. So oatmeal is cheap. Things to put into it, raisins and nuts and seeds and stuff, not that expensive. You can just shop around. Get into shopping around. Don't just go into one shop and do everything. That is expensive. In terms of dinners, you know, you can get tins of kidney beans, chickpeas, aduki beans, black beans, you know, butter beans, all these different types of beans, really, really cheap. Lentils, baked beans, proper good baked beans, again, really cheap. Pasta's not expensive, rice not expensive, couscous. Quinoa is a bit more expensive, but again, shop around, you can find cheaper versions. Potatoes, you know, you can get good organic potatoes, again, not super expensive depending on where you're going. You know, there's a huge amount of choice. Muesli, whether you make your own or whether you buy a packet, again, you can go a certain place where it's really expensive, but you can get pretty much the same thing in other places. Like one I currently get is less than £2, when there's other versions out there that are pretty much the same for 5 or 6. Okay, and it'll be the same whatever part of the world you're in, whatever currency you deal with. So fruit, again, fruit's not very expensive, veg not very expensive. Even going organic, it means shopping around. What I see with going vegan is, you know, and how to eat vegan on a budget, it's about being willing to, you know, experiment with different foods, and it's also about being willing to shop around and become familiar with all the different shops in your area. Because if you just go to one shop, true, it's going to cost a fair amount, get everything there, but, you know, make that little sacrifice to go to different places, support local markets. You know, local markets, farmers markets, they're really, really cheap. So for me, there's absolutely no excuse for someone saying that vegan is expensive. It's not. A previous video I shared a couple of videos ago was about Usher making that as a claim, which is pretty crazy for Usher to say that eating vegan is expensive. So, you know, put into practice what I'm saying, the tips I've put in. I said beans, lentils, chickpeas, all the different grains, all really cheap. Fruit and veg doesn't have to be expensive. Just look around, okay? And have your porridge or oatmeal every morning. That's what I do, and I love it. And you know, it doesn't break the bank. So welcome your questions and your comments, put them below the video. Share as well some of the foods that maybe I left out and that aren't expensive, or if you find that there's something that you buy that is very expensive, you'd like me to suggest an alternative or a cheaper version, just let me know. Put it in the questions section below the video, the comment section. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to get updated videos. Make sure as well you share this. Help us to grow our Go Vegan Grow community. It's very important that we help to get this message out there to as many people as possible to save ourselves, save animals, and save the planet. Whatever your reason, Go Vegan Grow.